Yeah, I would say when you hear something like that and to get it in yesterday's game, what does that mean to you?
Well, I think it's really cool, honestly. I mean, you've seen Caitlin break a lot of records this year as well, and just, I don't know, I just feel really grateful that I'm a part of a team who has, gotten recognition like that, and 32 wins for Coach Bluder. That's pretty awesome. That sounds like a lot, and I think, we were like 31-7 last year. So that's just super cool, but also 32 wins, that's a lot of experience that you're seeing right there. So, using that for the rest of the season is going to be important.
You have so much respect for Bluder. You've often said, you want to be just like her and everything. What is it about her that you just love?
Yeah, I mean, I feel so grateful that I've gotten to play for a coach like her. She's truly cared for, us as people more than players. I feel like I can go and talk to her about anything. If I've ever had, anything outside of basketball going on, she's going to be the first person to have my back and to, give me advice and be a shoulder to lean on. So I've always appreciated that about her. And, she's not the type of person who feels like they need to, scream at you to motivate you, but she's just a super positive person. And, she values every single person on our team, whether, you get in, play 30-plus minutes, whether you don't get in and play at all. She truly cares about every single person on our team. And, I think it goes to say a lot that she's had the same staff for however many years, more years than I've been alive. So, you don't get that if you're not a good person and a good coach.
There will be many narratives about this game. What do you think it should be?
Just that it's two competitive teams playing in the Elite Eight, trying to get to another Final Four. Obviously, that's how that is at this point. We've got some great stars going against each other on Monday, and I think that's super cool. It's going to bring viewership up because, you've got Caitlin Clark, you've got Angel Reese, you've got, a lot of people on LSU's roster, you've got a lot of people on Iowa's roster, and then you've got Paige Beckers and Juju Watkins. I just think that's going to grow the women's game even more, so I'm really excited for that.
When you look at last year's Iowa-LSU matchup versus this one, I mean, there's a lot of the faces that are the same compared to last year to now. Do you feel like these are two totally different teams, or are they somewhat similar teams that have just maybe grown and gotten better in the last year?
Yeah, I think we're different teams. I wouldn't say totally different, obviously, because we have a lot of similar faces, like you said, but two totally different teams in the way that, we don't play exactly the same as we did last year, and they don't play exactly the same as they did last year. So, obviously, we're not really using our last year's game as, bait or film for this year because they're not the same and we're not the same. But I'm just really looking forward to it. It really didn't matter to us if it was LSU or UCLA. We're just excited for another opportunity to play 40 more.
This could be your last 40 minutes ever. How does that make you feel?
I guess, I've been thinking that way since we played Holy Cross. I don't really focus too much on our opponent. At this point in the season, we're really focusing on ourselves and what we can do to, maximize our chance and get another 40. So obviously we have 5 seniors on our team, and we want to do whatever we can to, play as long as we can this season. So our mindset is always trying to get another 40.
Rebounding is going to be a key?
For sure. I mean, they're the number 1 rebounding team in the country, so that's going to be a huge key for us. Put a button to somebody and, get boards. We always talk about getting more possessions, and the team with more possessions is, ultimately probably going to win. So we've got to value the ball, and we've got to get rebounds offensively and defensively.
Thanks, Kate.
Thank you.
Okay, here we go. Since last year, I think we've talked about you potentially coaching in the future, but I think it wasn't until the last time we had a chance to talk to you that you spoke about maybe coaching here at Iowa or wanting to coach here at Iowa. Is that a conversation that's been had, or just something that you maybe talked to anybody about, or just something that you hope?
I just meant like maybe in my future at some point. Like I'm still really young, so you never know when I'm 50. Maybe I could come back. Like it doesn't matter. But yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that I have multiple opportunities at coaching somewhere, and I'm gonna always seek out different opportunities because I think it's super important to have that. And in my future, I'm really excited to be a coach and to be able to mentor young student athletes like I was mentored by other coaches.
Do you look to Tanaya Davis as a role model at all? Because you were teammates, right?
Teammates,
and now she's one of your coaches. So I mean, you talk about doing it when you're older, but I mean, it could be, pretty quick turnaround potentially if you look at Tanaya.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Tanaya and I were teammates, so it's pretty cool that it's come full circle. And obviously, I've always looked up to her. When you're a freshman and you have, seniors, I always looked up to my seniors, and I just thought they were awesome. And so for her to be able to coach now, and we've done quite a few workouts together, and she always tries to motivate us. And she's also, very relatable because she's not too far removed. And so, I don't know, I just feel really grateful that I have somebody like that on staff, and, I hope to be that for somebody one day.
One of the about the post play, and that Hannah was a good player, blah blah blah, but that she thought maybe there would be an advantage in the power forward area for them.
Me? Is that what they're referring to?
No.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I was just asking. I didn't know.
No, how do you see that matchup outside of those Angel and?
Well, I
Hannah?
guess I would say, all year. Hannah's played against people who are taller than her, bigger than her, but I guess that's, how they can have an advantage, but, we can also use that to our advantage as well, get their big posts outside, bring them out on the perimeter a lot, they're not used to that because they go against some big posts as well, and so while they might have some advantages, we do as well.
Kate, I was talking to Jan, and she said that Sid kind of made a name for herself in the program early on by kind of going against you, Gabby, and Caitlin, kind of the iron sharpens iron. I guess, what do you kind of remember those early times battling against Sid, and how do you feel now that she's kind of getting the spotlight?
Yeah, ever since Sid was a freshman, we've gone against each other every single day, and she's just, as you guys have seen it now, she's just a hard-nosed, hard worker. She's very physical. She's going to do whatever she's got to do to, help her team get the most success that we can. And I'm not going to lie, I haven't always loved going against her because she's really good, and I'm really glad that she's getting some recognition that she deserves because, I've gone against her every day, so I've seen it, and I'm glad that other people are starting to get to see it as well.
I hadn't made this connection until recently. Scott Docterman told me about it. You and the Epinesses are from the same high school? Okay, so were you in high school with any of the Epinesses?
Yeah, I was in high school with AJ and Eric. Actually, their older sister played volleyball with my older sister, so, my dad coached AJ and Eric and Yosei, so in football. So, they're just a great family, and what Epi and Stephanie have done to bring together our community of Edwardsville is super cool. After, every Friday night lights game, they would have, after wins, they would always have the whole town over to eat food and just, pray together and hang out. So they're just a super close family, and I love them very much.
Are you still buds with AJ?
Yeah, for sure. We've texted a little bit here and there in this postseason, and I'm always rooting for him. I've seen him since he was in middle school. I've been in middle school, so, I'm always rooting for people from Edwardsville, and he's always going to root for me, and we've been friends for a really long time, and I don't see that ever changing.
What's it like for you, this is a fun one, to do a press conference with Caitlin? Are you ever like, I've got my one question and I'm done? Or,
honestly, it's kind of funny because I saw a video on TikTok the other day, and I was picking at my nails during the press conference, and Gabby gave me a dirty look because she hates when I pick at my nails, but it's funny, sometimes you can get lost in the press conference because obviously Caitlin's going to get a lot of questions, a lot of media, but she's also really good at answering questions, and she handles it super well, so I honestly don't even mind that much, put all of that on her. So
what is the question you feel like she's answered or you've heard her answer the most?
I think I've heard her answer what it means to see little girls looking up to her probably the most, or growing the game, which obviously that deserves a lot of spotlight and that deserves a lot of attention because she has gotten, a lot of, little girls looking up to her and young boys as well, and so it's pretty cool that, that gets to be shed light on.
But at the same time, you have two of the best trash talkers in the game tomorrow going at it. Is it fun to kind of watch that interaction at all?
Yeah, they're just two competitors, and I think it's great for women's basketball. we want to compete and we want to win, and it's not just about two players. It's about both teams as a whole, and I think it'll be a super competitive game, and I'm excited.
Are you ever a trash talker?
No, I'm not. I'm not too big on that.
How do you handle that quickness? Do you just have to sort of get in their way?
Yeah, I think transition defense will be a key for sure, and they like to push the ball just like us, and I think 1 through 5 they can really bring the ball up the court, so we'll be ready for that and make sure we're focused on that going into tomorrow.
I know that you guys have been staying off social media trying to block out any of the outside noise, but do you get the sense at least that you know that this is the matchup that a lot of people across the country have kind of been waiting for since last year?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a great game, and like I said earlier, it's just so great for women's basketball, and the viewership that will be held for tomorrow is super exciting, and the fact that I get to be a part of that is so amazing. But overall, I think it's just going to be a super competitive game, and we're going to stay together and play Iowa basketball no matter what the media says or what they try to make it. It's just another game, and we're excited to be part of something so great.
Yesterday, Caitlin was speaking complimentary of you, and she said something about how glad she was that you didn't, jump in the portal like a lot of players might. Was that ever I'd never really thought about that, but was that ever a thought of yours to maybe go to the portal and see what you could do elsewhere, or were you always just kind of focused on staying here in Iowa?
Yeah, I think I was really just focused on my game and this program, these girls, and I made a commitment my junior year of high school to come here, and I was going to stick to that, and I think it's really paid off. I said earlier that I did play behind a lot of great players, but sometimes that's what happens in college basketball, especially with the COVID year. But I think just being ready for your time is what's most important, and that's what I did.
How has your game? Go ahead. How has your game grown? I mean, quietly, behind the scenes, that you've become, a very big piece of this team.
I think just the confidence aspect. The more you play, obviously, I think the more confidence you get, and I know my teammates and coaches have had my back since the beginning and have had confidence in me since my freshman year, but just to really go out there and show that has been really great for me.
You work hard for several years, and then you get into this opportunity here and you start lining up and how good is that? How rewarding is that to see all that hard work really paying off in a big way?
Yeah, it's such a blessing. I'm so grateful to be part of this team and on the platform that we are on, and to play with these girls. These girls are my best friends, so I'm just so grateful, and I've worked so hard for this ever since I was a little girl, and I've dreamed about moments like this, so I'm just super excited.
Can you talk about the confidence you guys got from this last game, and if that can help you going forward in this game?
Yeah, I think we really played a complete basketball game yesterday. I think we always kind of expect our offense to be going, but yesterday I really think we played great defense as well, and we were able to get really great transition points because we played great defense and because we finished with rebounds and box outs. So that was super important. That's great to see down here, the stretch in March.
What do you think of when you look at LSU, their fashion sense? They were talking about that over in their locker room.
What do you mean?
Like the way their coach dresses and just the swag that they carry.
Yeah, I think, dress how she wants. You do you. That's great for them. I don't think that's really a focus.
When you look at the way you
even going to the opposing arenas, we've seen so many Hawk fans, so much black and gold in the crowds. So, just compared to even last night, we saw so many Hawk fans, and they were loud. I heard them all night, and so I'm expecting the same thing tomorrow.
So pro crowd, another.
I hope so.
How will you guys handle the quickness of their perimeter players?
Yeah, I'd say I think I might try to throw a couple of different things at them just to kind of keep them on their toes. They have some great guards, but we're going to just stick to the game plan. The coaches will have us prepared, and we're just going to trust in them.
As much as I know everybody's been saying you guys are kind of avoiding social media, blocking out the outside stuff, do you still, I don't know if family or friends or anything are texting you and just letting you know this is the matchup that a lot of people have been looking forward to? Do you get a sense that this is the matchup that everybody wanted?
Yeah, obviously, yeah. I've seen a few things on social media, but I do try to scroll past them or just not give them any attention truly, because, I'm focused on my own team, and I'm sure they're focused on their own team, and that's how it should be, and our own game plans. But My family and friends know not to really send me anything, especially during this time where I'm really locked into the team and what we need to do. And I really haven't seen my family all that much on this trip because they know like it's a business trip. We have more stuff to take care of, and so no, they haven't really sent me anything. I don't want to see it. They know I don't want to see it. So.
Are you able to talk about some of the differences, the changes from last year's championship game versus where you are now against LSU? Just because there are a lot of the same faces there, so where is your team grown between then and where you are now?
Yeah, I would say that everyone on the team now experienced that Final Four run. So that experience and knowing what it takes to get there has been huge during this tournament. And I would say, I think we're quicker this year even. Sydney and Hannah, you've seen how they've run the floor during this whole tournament. And I think that will be an advantage for us, just the way Hannah runs the floor. And, Caitlin gets a lot of attention, obviously, and I think that opens up three-point shooters on the outside a lot too. So I think that will be huge for us in this game.
I'm sure it's already been asked, but just what does it mean to you to be back to be leading?
Yeah, obviously it's really exciting. Our goal at the beginning of the year is obviously Final Four. Like that's in our minds. That's in all of our minds. That's something we talk about. Obviously we do take it game by game, and we have some short-term goals in there as well. But two back-to-back Elite Eights, it's something to be proud of. I think it speaks to just the experience this team has together, and these coaches deserve it, all that. I'm happy for these girls, happy for the coaches, and just what we've been able to do this year.
There are nearly 10 million people that watched last year when we played against LSU. There's going to be a ton more watching tomorrow. To play on a stage like that and have so many people watching, what's that mean to you and your team?
Yeah, I think it just shows like how big of role models we are. We always have so many eyes on us, so many little kids, little girls, little boys, and I think it's just important, to kind of represent our school, represent ourselves in a positive way. 10 million people is a lot of people tuning into a women's game, so I'm happy to see those numbers and see how much it's grown just over even my last 4 years, and I hope it gets even higher. We're seeing how many people are in the stands to come see us play, and starting to enjoy the passion that we bring, and the competitive spirit of the women's game. And so I'm really excited for the future of the game too.
Sydney's really elevated her game and really been thriving in that starting role. What have you seen from her from a growth perspective?
Yeah, I think she truly is one of the players that embodies trust the process, and she's played under some great players, and I think that's the best way to learn. That's how I learned my freshman year when I got to watch Kathleen Doyle and Mackenzie Meyer and what they brought to the team and how they produced on offense and defensively. So I think that's been huge for her, and she's always been the type of player that's just put her head down and worked so hard, getting in the gym on every single off day, doing extra conditioning, doing extra lifting. She's always been that way, and that's what people don't see. But I think, seeing all that work come into the light, it's an amazing thing for her. She's one of my closest friends. I'm so happy for her. She deserves all the flowers, and I think she's had some huge games for us over these past 5 games. So.
Does that let you feel like a rival to you at all?
I wouldn't say so. Just because we saw them in the national championship game and lost doesn't mean that they're necessarily a rival. You lose games, you win games, and I think I'm happy that we could have this rematch because, the last loss stung a little bit, but I wouldn't say that they're a rival. I would just say it's going to be a great competitive game, and I'm excited to play.
What do you remember from that game? What did you see in that game as you were just kind of sidelined, somebody that was more watching as a spectator last year?
Yeah, it was, aside from all the nerves and adrenaline that I think was running in through everyone's bodies, it was an awesome game to watch. Both teams, I think, played great, so I think I should probably expect the same thing for this year, but once you're in this tournament, it's like everybody's going to give their 100%, so I think that same thing happened last year, so it's good to look forward to.
What are some of the things you've seen out of LSU and some of the tape you've watched so far, some of the game film? I don't know how much you've studied this team already, but what do you see out of this team right now?
Yeah, they have great rebounders. They're very balanced in all positions on the floor. They got some great shooters, so just knowing personnel is going to be very important, and knowing who to box out, and just some of the key components that will go into this game. But all around, they have a very good team.
How much do you feel like the competition competition level ramps up from Sweet 16 to Elite 8? I mean, it seems like, all due respect to Colorado, going from Colorado to LSU is a pretty big leap in talent level.
Yeah, no, it's crazy to think about because now it's like after this win, it's the Final Four. So I think a lot is on the line and everybody knows that. So it's a very exciting time and a lot of nerves are, like I said, kind of going into this, but it's just a very fun experience and it just amps up every game.
Have you heard a lot of people talking about this game so far? Anybody else? I mean, obviously this is the matchup that nationwide people have been kind of looking forward to. Have you heard a lot of people talk about this one yet?
Yeah, honestly, I think a lot of us have kind of stayed off of like the media and stuff. So like me personally, I haven't really seen much, but maybe I'll see something on my TikTok here and there. But I'm trying to stay kind of off of it right now and stay focused on what's in front of us. So
is TikTok the social media exception that you make? That you
at nighttime, I'm a scroller, so I'm there for quite a few hours.
How does it feel to play in a game where it seemed like when the brackets dropped, everybody was circling for a potential matchup? You know, you say you're staying out of the noise, but how does it feel to know that everyone's wanting to watch this game?
Yeah, I mean, when the brackets got dropped, it was kind of cool to see all the teams that were going to be on our side just because there was such great level of talent within all of the teams. So the fact that it lined up that we're playing them again is, I mean, it's a great opportunity. I mean, they have a great team, and just seeing that matchup just from last year, and yeah, it should be just really fun.
I know I talked with you earlier in the week about the difference between this tournament from last year's tournament for you with you being injured. How did it feel, or how do you think it's going to feel to get on the court against LSU this year when you got to see the game and unfortunately you couldn't make an impact in that?
Yeah, kind of like what I said, I think, in the last time. It's just a great blessing to be able to be back on the floor, and I'm very grateful for it in whatever ways I have to be out there. And I'm grateful to be out there. Just that's kind of all it is. I mean, I'm just very lucky to be playing with these girls, and I was able to have that perspective from last year of being on the bench, but now being able to be on the floor when I can. It's just a really cool opportunity.